Hello friends, you've just unlocked another chapter of the past, hidden, untold, and waiting to be discovered. This is Buried Truths. Let's view the video. In the brutal crucible of the American Civil War, one group of Union soldiers would carve their name into history with unmatched bravery and sacrifice. Known as the Iron Brigade, these men became legendary for their fierce fighting spirit and their willingness to face impossible odds. The Iron Brigade was born from the ranks of Midwestern men, primarily hailing from Wisconsin, Indiana, and Michigan. Unlike the grand armies of the East, these were rugged farm boys and frontiersmen, hardened by the harsh conditions of frontier life long before they saw battle. Comprising the 2nd, 6th, and 7th Wisconsin Infantry, the 19th Indiana, and later the 24th Michigan, the brigade represented the best of the Western soldiers. Their regiments were often viewed with skepticism by their Eastern counterparts, but this would change dramatically on the battlefield. What set the Iron Brigade apart at first glance was their distinctive appearance. They wore tall black hardy hats, dark frock coats, and white gaiters. This old-fashioned uniform made them stand out, earning both admiration and mockery before they proved their worth in combat. From their earliest days in training, the brigade showed a toughness and unity that few other units could match. Their officers instilled strict discipline, drilling them relentlessly and forging a bond that would hold under the horrors of war. Other Union soldiers quickly took note of their no-nonsense attitude and formidable appearance. Though they had yet to fire a shot in anger, the men of the Iron Brigade were building a reputation as a force to be reckoned with. It was during their first brutal clashes in Virginia that the Iron Brigade earned their legendary name. Their courage, discipline, and refusal to break under fire made them stand apart, and cemented their place in history as some of the Union's finest. The Iron Brigade was soon recognized by another name that echoed across battlefields: the Black Hats. Their distinctive tall black hardy hats became a symbol of fearlessness and pride, instantly marking them as some of the Union Army's toughest and most disciplined soldiers. Their first true test came during the Second Battle of Bull Run in August 1862. Though the Union Army suffered a bitter defeat, the Iron Brigade distinguished itself by holding its ground longer than most units, showing determination and grit under overwhelming Confederate assaults. Known for their aggressive fighting style, the Black Hats earned a reputation for advancing steadily and holding positions no matter the cost. Their willingness to endure high casualties and press forward inspired other soldiers and commanders alike across the Union Army. But their toughness came at a terrible price. The Iron Brigade suffered some of the highest casualty rates in the war. Their ranks were constantly thinned by battle, yet those who remained fought with even greater determination and pride. General George B. McClellan himself praised the Iron Brigade as one of the finest units in the Army of the Potomac. Their discipline, appearance, and battlefield courage made them legends even among the war-hardened Eastern regiments. Within the brigade, the bond between soldiers was unbreakable. Coming from the same communities, they fought side by side with brothers, friends, and neighbors. Their shared hardships and sacrifices forged a brotherhood unmatched on either side of the conflict. With every bloody engagement, the legend of the Black Hats grew. Their courage, stubbornness, and willingness to stand firm in the face of death made them a feared and respected force, and a symbol of the Union's resolve to fight on. The Battle of Antietam on September 17, 1862, would become the Iron Brigade's bloodiest and most defining moment. It was here, in the fields of Maryland, that they faced their true baptism of fire, earning their reputation at a terrible cost. As dawn broke, the Iron Brigade was ordered to attack through a section of the battlefield known as the cornfield. Towering stalks of corn concealed Confederate forces, turning the field into a deadly trap where visibility was low, but the danger was everywhere. With unwavering discipline, the Black Hats advanced into the cornfield, their dark uniforms and tall hats making them stand out amid the golden crops. Suddenly, gunfire erupted from hidden Confederate lines, and the brigade was plunged into brutal, close-quarters combat. The battle devolved into chaos as musket smoke filled the air and men fought desperately for survival. Despite being outnumbered, the Iron Brigade held its ground, firing volley after volley into the enemy lines, refusing to yield an inch of the field. Casualties mounted rapidly. In mere hours, the Iron Brigade lost nearly a third of its strength. Yet their determination never wavered. Stories of individual heroism emerged, as officers and enlisted men alike risked everything to hold the line. Though Antietam ended without a decisive victor, the Iron Brigade's stand in the cornfield became legendary. Their courage and sacrifice symbolized the Union Army's tenacity and sent a clear message: the Black Hats would not falter, no matter the cost. After the smoke cleared, the Iron Brigade emerged shattered but proud. Their bravery at Antietam made them one of the most respected units in the Union Army. But it also marked the beginning of relentless hardship and deadly battles still to come. In July 1863, the Iron Brigade marched toward Gettysburg, unaware that they were about to face the bloodiest and most critical battle of their lives. What unfolded would cement their place among the greatest fighting units in American military history. On the morning of July 1st, the Iron Brigade was among the first Union infantry to engage the advancing Confederate Army. They took position along McPherson's Ridge, tasked with delaying the enemy's overwhelming forces at all costs. The Black Hats fought with relentless determination, pouring volleys of musket fire into the advancing Confederates. Despite being heavily outnumbered, their disciplined lines held firm, buying precious time for the rest of the Union Army to arrive. The fighting on McPherson's Ridge was savage and unrelenting. Smoke and chaos engulfed the battlefield as the Iron Brigade stood its ground, suffering terrible casualties but refusing to retreat in the face of the Confederate onslaught. General John Reynolds, one of the Union's top commanders, was killed in the opening hours. His death was a devastating blow, but the Iron Brigade's resolve only hardened, knowing the fate of the army rested on their shoulders. Though their ranks were decimated, the brigade's stand delayed the Confederate advance long enough for Union reinforcements to secure stronger positions. Their sacrifice played a critical role in shaping the early course of the Battle of Gettysburg. The price was staggering, over 1,200 casualties, but the Iron Brigade's courage became legendary. Their bloody stand at Gettysburg was remembered as a moment of extraordinary heroism, a testament to their discipline, loyalty, and unbreakable fighting spirit. The Battle of Gettysburg marked both a high point and the beginning of the Iron Brigade's decline. Their incredible bravery had come at a terrible cost, leaving their ranks devastated and their future uncertain as the war dragged on. The brigade's depleted numbers were a grim reminder of the price they paid for their reputation. At Gettysburg alone, over 1,200 of their men were killed, wounded, or captured, leaving entire companies shattered and communities back home in mourning. Despite their losses, the Iron Brigade continued to fight in subsequent campaigns. Their spirit remained, but the harsh realities of war, fatigue, and dwindling manpower made it impossible to maintain the formidable strength they once possessed. Leadership changes further strained the brigade. Many of their most experienced officers were killed or wounded, forcing less seasoned men into command positions. The cohesion and sharp discipline that defined them in earlier battles began to waver. In an effort to rebuild, other regiments were added to the brigade. While these men fought bravely, the original identity of the Iron Brigade, those rugged Midwestern farm boys, was slowly diluted as new faces filled the depleted ranks. The loss of comrades and the constant bloodshed weighed heavily on the survivors. The once proud Black Hats marched with fewer men, bearing the scars of countless battles. Their reputation remained, but the reality was one of exhaustion and sorrow. By war's end, the Iron Brigade was but a shadow of its former self. Yet, their sacrifice and courage endured as a symbol of resilience. Their decline told not of weakness, but of the terrible human cost of war and unwavering devotion. The legacy of the Iron Brigade lives on as one of the most respected and celebrated fighting units in American military history. Their courage, sacrifice, and unbreakable spirit became a symbol of the Union's determination during the Civil War. Monuments and memorials now stand in their honor on the battlefields where they fought. At Antietam, Gettysburg, and other hallowed grounds, statues and plaques remind visitors of the blood the Black Hats shed for their country. Historians and authors have immortalized the Iron Brigade in countless books, articles, and documentaries. Their distinctive black hats, rugged Midwestern roots, and battlefield heroics continue to capture the imagination of scholars and history enthusiasts alike. The reputation of the Iron Brigade influenced future generations of American soldiers. Their discipline, bravery, and willingness to endure unimaginable hardships became a model for military units striving for excellence under extreme conditions. Survivors of the brigade shared their stories for decades after the war. Through letters, memoirs, and veteran reunions, they ensured that the memory of their fallen comrades and their shared experiences would never be forgotten. The Iron Brigade earned the title, the bravest of the brave, for good reason. Their unmatched reputation for holding the line under fire made them a source of pride not only for the Midwest but for the entire Union Army. More than 160 years later, their story endures. The Iron Brigade remains an enduring symbol of courage, sacrifice, and resilience, a powerful reminder of what ordinary citizens can achieve when bound together by duty, discipline, and unwavering resolve. Thanks for watching Buried Truths. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden corners of history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more powerful stories from history's hidden vault. See you in the next video.